Greetings from Storybrooke. I'm Bill Meeks.
And I'm Anne-Marie DeSimone.
And this is the day we both beat fate. You want to go on a road trip? We also talk about ABC's hit series Once Upon a Time. Anne-Marie's busy driving over there, it looks like. That's okay. How you doing, Anne-Marie?
I'm doing fantastic. How are you?
I'm good. I'm great. And as always, we are joined by our chat room over at live.universebox.com, where we record the show every Monday evening at 8:30 p.m. EST, which is always a good time.
With the exception
of the finale episode,
which will be recorded on Tuesday night at 8:30 p.m. Eastern.
8:30 p.m. EST, when we're usually doing Legends of Gotham, but Gotham's done after next week, so it'll be perfect. Oh, speaking of other podcasts we do, we wanted to mention real quick before we got into the main discussion here, if you go to bit.ly/ubvote2, and I'll say that again before we move on here, but you can actually go ahead and vote for the topics that we'll be covering on our next set of episodes of Universe Box. We in our patron hangout on Saturday night, we brainstormed up, I think, like 25 or so topics, anything from compassion to family to Back to the Future on the day that they traveled to the future, robots,
hobbies,
cats and dogs.
I love the cats and dogs.
Yeah, but if you want to, go ahead and go to bit.ly/ubvote2. I believe. UBVote2, and you can select up to 5 topics that you'd like to see us cover over on the Universe Box podcast that we do at universebox.com. So we'd love to get your feedback, because this is going to be like, you know, when Once goes off the air for the summer, this is where you go to catch me and Anne-Marie, all summer. We're going to be we're going to be releasing Once commentaries all summer and stuff too. But we're going to be over here on Universe Box doing a lot of cool, fun content.
Exactly. A lot of unique, original content, which is really exciting.
But you know what, Anne-Marie? We're not here to plug our other podcast.
We're not?
Not completely. That's not the only reason we're here.
We don't just do podcasts to plug the other podcasts?
Exactly. But we're also here to talk about this week's episode of Once Upon a Time. So why don't you start us off like we always start off, with a rhyming episode summary.
The darkness in Emma continues to grow, brought on by her actions of charming in snow. An evil queen road trip is just what she needs to absolve herself from her wicked deeds. She's looking for Lily in all the wrong places, but thanks to a wolf, she's off to the races. Her childhood friend is anything but frilly. Time to catch up with the anti-savior, Lily!
Lily, with the theme music.
Lily!
Bill, remember to turn off the... Lilith. So, Lily. What did you think about Lily, Anne-Marie? Lily.
It's gonna be one of those nights, huh?
Yes.
I liked Lily. Definitely was unexpected. A lot of her character. You know, like the part where she partially kidnapped a child for a few minutes.
Yeah, not really kidnapped, more just borrowed.
Yeah, she borrowed a kid. The kid was like 7. Don't borrow a kid. But no, it was. I liked her. I cannot wait till next week.
Oh yeah, like next week we'll be talking about the trailer in just a few minutes here, but yeah, it looks phenomenal. But wait, no, we're here to talk about this week's episode. And I think I finally cracked the nut on this whole Emma's superpower thing. I think I figured out
you totally did
why it seems so inconsistent. But it's consistent in its inconsistency. So my theory is, and definitely anyone in the chat room or anything, which if you're coming in late, live.universebox.com is where the chat is. Definitely correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure that the effectiveness of Emma's superpower is directly related to her proximity to magic. The further away she is from magic, the better it works. That's why she sees through Lily so quickly here in this episode, while everybody in Storybrooke can lie to her all day long.
Right, and they do.
And the reason she's kind of identified it as a superpower is because she was living away from magic for years when she developed this superpower, right?
Right.
Now, speaking of power, and again, definitely feel free to let me know in the chat room if you agree, disagree, whatnot. But speaking of powers away from Storybrooke, isn't this the first time? This isn't the first time we've seen Emma's powers sort of glitch out in the real world, right?
Oh, you mean the zzz?
Yeah, because that happened with the Snow Queen last half season, and when she had Henry.
That was what I was gonna say. It was when she had Henry.
Yeah. So do you think this is just like sort of like pent up magical aggression just coming out as sort of like a little bit of a destructive force. So do you think this could be? Do you think this indicates that maybe Emma might be a conduit to bring magic into the real world? Like, maybe she'll be the person to do it. And I mean, we've seen some characters like the dragon use magic on occasion too.
Unleash the dragon. I don't know if they'll necessarily go that way, but I like that way.
Mm-hmm.
So there's that. Like, I love the idea of bringing magic to the real world.
Yeah.
I'm just not sure they'll go there.
Yeah, and
they might. Who knows? But.
And I can't think. Other Anne-Marie in the chat room says her superpower works when the writers say so, which is totally how it seemed.
Yeah, but they also sort of have her point out when it's not working or when it's working, and how many times can you say my superpower?
Yeah, and Patty also mentions that she remembers that the creators said once that the effectiveness of the superpower depends on her emotional state.
Oh, okay.
Which I don't know if that's leans into my theory or leads away from it. You know?
No. Yeah, because as Elsie points out, the superpower only seems to work when she's not emotionally attached.
Oh, so
that's what they mean by emotions, not necessarily that she's not ramped up.
But wasn't she emotionally attached a little bit to Lily? Don't you think?
Yes, but I don't think in the way.
Does it only work if she's emotionally attached to the person? Is what
they said not.
Saying. Okay.
So I don't know. And Elsie, not Elsa, please. Let it go.
Let it go.
Let it go.
Okay, so you wanted to talk a little bit Sorcerer Apprentice action, right?
All right, Sorcerer Apprentice. So there was one thing that I thought was very interesting, and I don't know why I didn't really catch on to this before. So the apprentice is talking to some puffs of smoke, otherwise known as the sorcerer.
The sorcerer.
Sorcerer. I swear I'm not drinking tonight. It's tea.
Not magic juice.
No magic juice. When they were talking about the author and keeping him away from toying with fate again, he says that now that the author is in the book, he can only record. He can't alter, which totally makes sense because obviously we have stuff recorded after he was put in the book.
Yeah, there's story stuff that happens after that.
How did we never even notice that? I didn't, or at least it just completely it just appeared there.
Yeah.
So how is the rest of history after the curse? Oh yeah, like how was that? Did it just like show up because he's in the book? Because he doesn't have the pen. So was he just like, I don't understand how he recorded stuff in the book if he was in the book without the pen.
Maybe just just like scratching on the walls or something. Maybe once you're in the book, it doesn't matter.
It just automatically does it. That's kind of what I'm thinking. But so what about everything that happened in Storybrooke? Because it seems like all the recorded history stops with the curse. We've had a few. This one's the curse. What about when they got in Storybrooke? The book was there. The book should have been recording at least something that happened in Storybrooke. There's no Storybrooke in the storybook. He's still in the book. So maybe it only works in the Enchanted Forest.
Or maybe there's go ahead.
I have more.
Okay.
So if it only works in the Enchanted Forest, what about the year that they spent there between the Pan Curse and the Snow Curse? Shouldn't that be recorded somewhere?
Well, we did get flashbacks for that period.
We got flashbacks, but we don't have.
We got flash dances for that.
Wearing a skirt that would kind of work for that. But shouldn't that be recorded somewhere if it only works in the Enchanted Forest?
Well, do you think the books are just split up by like a narrative thread, or do you think they're split up by location?
This brings me to my next point.
Okay.
In a sense. How do we know all those books in the Sorcerer's House are blank? Did Henry seriously sit there and go through each and every book?
Well, what else has he been doing lately besides getting abducted by Cruella?
He didn't even say anything in Granny's today. Like, he must have gotten paid less this week because he didn't even get to utter a word.
That was the scene we wrote to get all of our main characters in the...
Yeah, like, that was Hook's main scene. So that's just really weird to me. Like, it's always bothered me that all of these stories are in this one book. It's always really bothered me. I'm like, the book's really, like, this big. The pages aren't thin. How does it all fit? It's magic!
It's an infinite book from the infinite forest. No, I'm kidding.
So, there's my ramblings about the book and the Sorcerer and the Apprentice, and what are you typing over there?
I'm just...
Whoa, there's a whole party in there when I go away and go on a rant.
Yeah, I'm just giving one of the
Bobby
chatters in there some advice on how to change your nickname.
Oh, got you.
Okay, hold on. So yeah, that's an interesting theory. Yeah,
Amy, you frequently change to guest, and I don't know how you do it almost every week.
it's probably resetting the chat. But anyway, we should probably get back to the main discussion. Nobody, I like all that though.
Does that all make sense? Like, it's just like, I don't understand.
Definitely, yeah, and I mean, I'm kind of, I think they're kind of muddying the waters a little bit with this whole definition of what the author is versus what fate is and everything too, which kind of leads right into my next point, which is, thank you.
You're welcome.
More the role of fate in the story, in you know the world of Once Upon a Time. Okay, so as Regina says, there's free will, but fate pushes us to make bad choices. Or the exact quotation was, "Our actions are our own, but fate pushes us." So there is free will, but fate pushes us to make bad choices if it serves fate's purposes. So this gets me thinking, because I mean, I think we were kind of like making the author and fate synonymous last half season, especially because we didn't know much. But it's so, you know, fate sounds very similar to the author, but fate, it has to be some sort of different, separate force, right? Because right now the author's not back in Storybrooke writing for a wolf to make Emma run off the road to go find Lily or whatever.
The wolf. Okay, so honestly, when I saw the wolf, I was like, red! I had a moment of glee, and I'm like, red! And then the wolf just ran away, and off they went to the diner. Sorry, continue.
But you know that wolf, if nothing else, it's evident that fate has a hand to play in the outside world, outside of Storybrooke. So I'm really starting to think that maybe fate, the big overarching fate, that force that people keep bringing up, I think that's actually the sorcerer, and that the sorcerer. The thing is, the sorcerer, and I'll get to why in a minute, but the sorcerer can't really affect things in the world. So he's kind of conscripted or brought on all these various, I kind of think of them as like fingers on his hand, little appendages to go out into the world and manipulate things the way he wants them to go, the sorcerer. And, you know, we have various fingers here, like the author, the dark one, the savior, the anti-savior. You know, on and on. We have these very specific people who are filling very specific roles through the story. So I think it's the sorcerer is fate, who wants to be steering everything, but an entity in the Once Upon a Time universe has prevented him from doing this, which is why he has to have all these fingers or appendages.
The entity theory that's coming up is fantastic.
And I think that entity that trapped the sorcerer in that little particle field that we saw this episode is the blue fairy.
Of course it is.
Because I don't think she whatever the sorcerer's ultimate goal is, whatever the sorcerer's motivation is for manipulating fate and everything, I don't think the blue fairy is down for it. So she trapped him in that thing. So he had to get, you know, the apprentice, the author, the dark one, all these people, all these little fingers to go out and reach out into the world and, you know, manipulate things. What do you think about that, Amber?
I think it's fantastic because I feel like, thanks to the Twitters, that we know that Blue Fairy's coming back. I feel like I saw her post something somewhere about being in the costume, whatever. But that would totally make sense because she seems to be the most powerful. Like, she's more powerful, really, than the dark one.
Yeah, and I mean, we've always suspected that, you know,
She's
there's
evil.
some shadiness going on there, and that would make total
shade.
And the thing is, that would make total sense and make that whole shadiness from episode 1 on make complete sense because
she's actually kind of controlling it because she's controlled the sorcerer.
Yeah, it also kind of paints her in a different light too, because it means that she was reacting to the curse because she knew that it was a ploy from the sorcerer ultimately, you know, through the dark one and all that, and Regina and everyone to mess with her plans. So, which is kind of interesting too.
Yeah. Ooh. Good things. Good things.
Yeah, but I you know, let us know what you think of the theory and everything. I thought that was Oh, and I guess someone says that the Blue Fairy is in the preview picks for the season finale.
So I was right.
Yeah.
Yay!
Definitely. Okay, so you wanted to talk a little bit about flashback logic.
Flashback. Okay. How the heck did Flashback Lily find Flashback Emma?
Yeah, that's a good question.
How did she find her in a brand new foster home and get into the garage?
I'm thinking if it
I
was fate. Like,
right. Well, that's all I keep coming up with. Literally, I just wrote, I know it's fate. But what happened? Did a wolf guide Lily to the garage and say, Emma lives here? Like, what happened?
I don't know. Maybe it was a situation. Maybe Lily, since she was kicked out of her parents' place, she was out looking for Emma, and
But she had a boyfriend. Like, she was with this
oh
boyfriend.
yeah, with the like maybe it was a situation. Maybe she saw Emma out with this new family
That's
or something.
like the best
you know?
I could think. And then
Yeah.
she just like stalked them back.
Because it had to be some sort of plot coincidence. Because they now obviously with fate and the author and everything, coincidences are plot points.
Right.
You know, like
Which
it's
is
a plot point
beautiful.
that it is a coincidence.
Right. I just think it's really weird because like the group home's not going to go giving out the new foster family's address or anything. So anything good in there?
Yeah, I was just gonna say
There was a lot of longer.
Other Anne Marie was saying, I feel like we've seen more powerful magic than Blue, so I don't know what to think about her. And Elsie says the show has totally underutilized Blue Fairy
True.
since season 1.
True.
They've said she's the oldest magic, but she has been pretty weak throughout the show so far.
They're not giving her a chance.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're just not giving her a chance. So I hope, since she is confirmed for the 2-part finale, that we get something.
Oh, definitely.
Something good. Give me something good. Bow, wow, wow. Sorry, I am in rare form tonight, guys.
You're in very big singing mode.
It's your fault. You played Gummy Bears.
Bouncing here and there and everywhere. We were listening to Disney Afternoon theme songs as we were getting ready for the show.
Anyway.
But you know what? We're going to come back and talk some more Lily.
Take a moment.
More Emma. Young Lily, old Emma, young Lily. Or no, that was the same thing, just stated 2 different ways. But first, we want to take a brief moment here and tell you guys about our Patreon. Anne-Marie, why don't you tell the nice people here about this Patreon page we have up at patreon.com/universebox.
Well, you nice people here, this is a Patreon.
They're 90% nice.
They're all right, 90% nice people. As you know, right now we're producing 3 weekly podcasts. So we've been growing and expanding, becoming more interactive. And we just want to keep that going. So we've started this Patreon. It's our best way to help beef up our content as well as, well, our equipment so we can continue beefing up the content. You can donate anything from 10 cents. I don't care, $50 a month. If you got that for us, we got it. Every level is going to give you all sorts of rewards, like a bunch of free books, some exclusive content. We may sing you a song per request or stop singing a song per request.
For example, this weekend, I have 2 new books out this week that we will tell you about in a little bit, but our patrons got them for free
They've
before
already got it for
they were
free.
announced anywhere else.
Absolutely. Also, we have one of our benefits is you're invited to our patron exclusive hangouts once a month. And if you enjoy our singing, we do a lot of singing there.
Yeah.
However, if you're like Jasmine and you up your pledge so that we stop singing during the patron hangouts, so that happened. But we also, as you've noticed, don't have ads anymore except for internal ads. And then, like I said, those hangouts, we are getting really close to getting our patron exclusive movie commentaries.
Oh yeah, which is a big one.
And we know our greetings people love our commentaries because we're hilarious. And I believe we're doing Harry Potter, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and Goonies are our first 3. So we can't wait to get to that point so that we can do those for you. But if you'd like to help support us, really, we're good with 10 cents. We're really excited to have you guys. It's patreon.com/universebox.
Patreon.com/universebox. And we thank all our supporters out there
all
already.
25 supporters.
All 25 of you. Thank you so much. And I just want to point out, just to let everyone know in the chat room, it was an assumed 10% who aren't nice. Like I wasn't.
Oh, did they start trying to figure out who the 10% was?
Yeah, I wasn't speaking of anyone in particular. So don't worry. I'm not throwing shade. Even though Emma,
he loves to throw shade. Who's he kidding?
I just like the concept of throwing shade. It's a lot of fun. Speaking of throwing shade, Lily. The Lily type, the young Lily type specifically, I really enjoyed in this episode. Just because I knew a ton of girls like Lily when I was growing up, kind of lost souls who feel their lives lack excitement or something. And so it leads them to a lot of bad choices in their attempt to find that thing that they're lacking. And throughout the episode, the romantic in me wanted Emma to accept Lily's honest pleas for help and, team up with her, and they'll go off to Pittsburgh together and spend all that stolen money. Go to Club Laga, which was open back then.
Oh no, Club Laga.
Deep Pittsburgh reference.
Deep reference.
But so, the romantic side of me wanted to see that happen. But the practical side of me, the side of me who, knew all girls like this growing up and, eventually kind of distanced myself from some of them.
Probably a good idea.
Was like, no, Emma made the right choice because this person is, I mean, magical circumstances notwithstanding. Obviously, we know that it probably would have been better for the both of them if Emma had gone. But in the real world, you're dealing with a real person. Mm-hmm. Lily's the type of person who would have eventually drug Emma down to the depths and completely ruined her life, probably.
But how would that even happen? Okay, see, this is one of the things I kind of realize. This is sort of going to bump right into my point here. Is, okay, so the Snow and Charming thing with the big egg, and the egg was supposed to pull all the darkness out of the Emma and put it into the Lily. Go ahead.
Oh, no, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, go ahead. I don't have a point.
You just wanted to make a like you did?
I just needed a breath. That's it.
Oh, I just needed to breathe. But how is Emma having all this darkness now? How are we turning her dark if all of her darkness and potential for darkness and evil was put into Lily?
Well, I think what the deal was is what they extracted from Emma and put into Lily was that kind of extreme potential for darkness. Now, it doesn't mean that Emma won't have a potential for darkness because free will, all that kind of stuff, all that crap. But it means that she stands less of a chance. And in fact, as we've seen over the course of this half season, really, in order for her to make that dark turn, she needs someone actively pushing her, Rumpelstiltskin, in this situation. So I think that's the situation where it was just like a matter of odds, more or less.
Okay, because I think it's pretty interesting that Lily did realize that Emma was her source of positivity and helped her, which I thought was really strange because they met stealing things and catching and breaking into the lake house, which is funny. But that she says, ever since you left, everything is dark, like I'm cursed. So did everything get dark with Lily after Emma left the first time? Like, was that the trigger of the two of them meeting? That was the trigger or something of her life being really bad?
Well, the thing is, we're still missing a very important piece of the puzzle with Lily, and that's what happened to her after
that,
after they came through the portal.
Yes.
Like, what did Cruella actually leave her in the woods? Which probably not.
No.
Did Cruella sell the baby on the black market?
Right.
I mean,
and what about Ursula?
And exactly. And who were these parents that she was left to? So because we really don't know, what that situation was like. Maybe there was darkness there before. I mean, I know for sure that Lily was definitely running away from her parents in that first young Emma Lily episode.
Right.
So even though, she had a loving home and everything.
Right.
But yeah, I get the feeling that maybe once they kind of, butted heads or whatever, kind of like the Evil Leaper episode of Quantum Leap when they touch. But that from then on, their fates are kind of more intertwined, and the more they're together, the better things will go, and the more they're apart, the worse things will go.
Okay, that makes sense.
It's kind of the assumption I made. But I guess we'll see if that bears out next episode, because as we know, the modern older Lily is now traveling with Emma and Regina. Now, one question I kind of had through that whole kind of nail-biting scene with, is Emma going to shoot her or not? Oh, when they cut back to the long shot, I thought they were going to do it. I thought they were going to have
Godfather. It was like The Godfather. You just zoom out.
Well, it almost reminded me more of Mice and Men.
That too.
Because a lot of times the way they end the play is kind of like that long shot, them standing way back in the center of the stage, and then the lights go out, bang.
So sad.
But so I kind of wonder with Lily, because she was so confrontational with Emma and in her face about it and everything. Would that bullet have killed her, or does she have some sort of magic that could have stopped it? Because she seemed really confident, but I guess it's either a situation where she has magic and could have stopped it, which kind of reminds me of a test that Maleficent did on Regina a few weeks back. Or she doesn't have magic and she's suicidal, or she doesn't have magic and she knew Emma wouldn't do it. It's going to be one of those things.
They totally couldn't have died from the train because Cruella drove them onto the train track, so there's no way they'd have died, but Maleficent didn't know all that. Sorry. Moment.
I think we brought that up last
week. Did we?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, sure.
It still bothers me. So there's that. No, you didn't mention your last part there.
Oh yeah, I was kind of asking you, like, do you think Lily has magic or
Yes.
not? You
She's-
do? Do you
her
think she
mother
has
is
magic in the real
Maleficent.
world?
No. I think
Well,
she's
I
trying.
think she could have stopped the bullet. Like that's kind of my theory, is that maybe she could have stopped the bullet, especially because we're seeing indications that Emma has some sort of magical power out in the real world. Obviously, if the Savior
has-
does, then the anti-Savior would too.
I think she has more of a magical energy, not necessarily power. I don't know if she could do anything.
Yeah.
But there's so much energy around her that things just happen.
I could see that.
Like, especially like the electrical craziness when the two of them hit.
Yeah.
So there's that.
See, one other thing that kind of makes me think that maybe Lily could have powers is because she's known from a very young age about the whole magic thing, right?
So she could have developed it.
Yeah, she could have developed it over time. Plus, she was given privileged information by the apprentice that we don't even know the full content of.
Very true.
So I mean, she could have been honing her skills for years or whatever. Yeah, and making a big conspiracy board like every show does these days.
Yeah.
Like it's a plot point in like 90% of every show I watch these days.
Yeah.
Which is kind of funny. But now I know that when they got to the Robin Hood place in New York City.
The Robin Hood space.
Yeah, you could call it a Robin Hood space. For sure. But when they got there in New York City, when Zelena does the little transformy thing, she's like, "Oh, what's that?" And Emma's like, "Magic." I think she could have been playing dumb there. Who knows?
I don't know because she doesn't know anybody else magic. Who knows? She hasn't done anything that intense, maybe.
But I mean, if I was walking into a situation where I knew magic existed to these people,
yeah, that's kind of stupid.
then I would be like, "Oh, that's a transformation spell," because I've seen something from pop culture in the past 50 years that had a
Harry
transformation
Potter.
spell. Harry Potter. No, but I definitely think, in that room where they left everyone, I definitely feel like Lily is going to have some part in defeating Zelena. She seems like a complete wild card who could just stab Zelena. Done.
Yeah.
No more Wicked Witch. But we'll probably get back to... do you want to talk a little bit about the Zelena thing? Because I don't think we had it in our points. The pregnancy thing.
I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised. I knew something crazy was going to happen.
Yeah, and there's definitely been rumors that there was going to be...
there had to be a big twist. There had to be. They're not going to bring her back for nothing. In a sense, nothing. But I think that it's interesting. I do actually think it's pretty shocking, though, that Robin wanted to stay, even though he knew it was the Wicked Witch.
Well, the thing
also, where was Roland during that entire ordeal?
He was at private school.
Yeah, okay.
He was finding a new Robin Hood space. No, but the thing about Robin Hood that just kind of I really dig about the character is just that he's like the most honorable man on the show, and he like, it breaks his heart to not have his honor or to do something that he finds dishonorable. And so I think the reason he's willing to stay there and lock in and stay in that situation is just because she's carrying his baby, and that's the honorable thing to do. Like, I mean, obviously there are very extenuating circumstances,
extreme circumstances.
but I think it's just he's a character who always fights to be like the center of the alignment chart, the absolute moral good, and you can see the frustration on his face when he's kind of struggling with that and everything. Like, what do I do? And I think he always defaults to the side of being honorable, or the most honorable.
Right.
And I have a feeling that, there's probably going to be some long, hard talks in the next week's episode about that, too.
Oh, yeah. I know.
Yeah, we're not over with that.
No, but I almost feel like they're all going to go, okay, so if they all go back to Storybrooke, will her heart be frozen? Was her heart ever frozen? What's going on with that?
See, I don't think they ever made that completely clear or not.
didn't.
Yeah, if it was an actual curse that affected her or not. I mean, Ice Queen and Wicked Witch were probably around the same power levels, though. So, I mean, obviously the Ice Queen could have cursed her heart,
Totally.
for sure.
So I just thought let's just throw that out there, because let's be honest, they're all going.
Yeah,
They're all going back.
I still totally think that Lily's just gonna straight up stab Zelena, though. Like, that's my prediction.
She's going to do something.
Yeah, for
She's
sure.
going to do something.
'Kay.
Or she's going to rip that necklace off her and go, mine!
Well, yeah, you had some stuff you wanted to talk
Well,
about
it's a different
the
necklace, but
right?
yeah. This is the half moon necklace that Lily sent Emma to get out of the nasty, decrepit place she was staying. Okay, my first problem was Just take the whole backpack. Don't dig through the backpack. Thanks. Get out. But the apprentice tells her that the necklace isn't exactly stone. So I'm assuming it's dragon eggshell, right? Like that makes sense.
Yeah,
here, right?
I'm pretty sure.
But what else would it be? How? Okay, if it's not dragon eggshell, how did she get it? If it wasn't,
Maleficent swallowed it before she laid the egg,
that's just nasty.
and it's weird too.
Really weird.
Totally weird.
Totally weird and not acceptable. So, okay, who made it into a necklace for her? Cruella, because she doesn't seem like the giving type.
Yeah, actually, I kind of like that. That seems like it would be likely. Maybe like Ursula or Cruella fashioned
Turned
her
it
this
into a
necklace so
necklace.
she would know, or she would
How
have
would
a
she
clue.
know? She'd have a clue. She'd have something.
Yeah.
But
Maybe they like, because the birthmark came from a piece of eggshell, right? So maybe that little star-shaped piece of eggshell was sitting there, and they were like, "Oh, okay, so we'll leave
That's
this
my
with
kind
her,
of
so she has at least some sort of connection. Maybe these are connected, and maybe we can look into it."
Right. Like that's the hard part is how do they know? How did that specific piece get chosen and made into a necklace? And how did they make sure that the adoption agency knew that it came from the birth mother?
Mm-hmm.
How did she get to the adoption agency? Was she just found in the woods like Emma? Like,
Yeah.
so many questions.
Yeah, there is still we're still missing a big piece of the puzzle of the entire half of season, and that's what happened with Cruella and Ursula between coming out of that portal and Cruella's husband getting arrested and Ursula working at the aquarium. Like
Yeah.
I still need that hole filled in for me. Like
I need
honestly,
about 30.
honestly, if they don't fill that hole this season, I'm going to be disappointed. Like I'm going to be disappointed in the season overall because that little piece isn't quite filled in. Yeah. But we shall see, I guess. Okay. Well, I titled this point "Rumple and Will, the Realm's Finest Team," because they team up in this episode, and it was really cool, and I really liked it. It was really surprising to me too. First of all, I love that they're both decent enough people. I mean, I didn't know Rumple decent, whatever.
In the situation.
But they're both decent enough people that they can put aside their differences to work towards a common goal, which is to get Belle or Hurt back, right? And Rumple's really good at negotiating these sorts of team ups anyway, so not totally surprised that Will went for it. I also love that Rumpelstiltskin didn't keep Belle's heart. He immediately goes and he gives it back to her. He could have kept it totally, and it probably would have made sense from a strategic standpoint, because if it's back in Belle's chest, then Regina can just take it again and then have that leverage over him again. But with him giving it back, like it said a lot about kind of how he feels about her, and he realizes that deceiving her is what kind of pushed his heart over from like 70% coal to like 90% coal.
Oh yeah. He killed himself with that one.
Yeah, and I think he also understands that to do anything less than selflessly in relation to Belle, or anything less than respecting her wishes and her wants and her desires, is going to just take out that last ember he has burning there. So his best chance at survival, which we all know Rumple, his number one goal is
to survive.
Survival at all costs. His best chance at survival is letting her go find her own happiness with Will Scarlet. That being said, the selfless act was enough to throw some doubt into Belle, for sure.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, when she let go of Will's hand there at the end,
It made me so sad.
it made me think Rumple's plan all along might have been to bring his Stockholm Syndrome affected Belle back by being a little sweet,
Yeah, but you know what? I'm scared that that's going to happen. I don't want to see it happen at all.
Amy P in the chat room says, best line ever was Rumple when he says, I need you to steal her heart, and Will says, already have.
Yeah. Good times. Love it.
Yeah, and obviously great seeing Will Scarlet again, too, although it feels like we're running out of time for him to get any sort of major story or any, any explanation for why he's not in Wonderland anymore.
We're not getting it.
Unless I don't know, unless he's... Well, no. I have some theories about how the two-part finale is going to go down. Maybe he's going to be the main character of the two-part finale. I could see that happening.
Oh, yeah, you did tell me that theory. Do you want to share your theory? Or are you holding on to that one?
We can share it later on. Well, I'll just say if it goes down like I think it's going to go down, there's going to be a big mission, obviously Operation
Mongoose, part 1 and
or
2.
whatever. Yeah, I think will be the guy running Operation Mongoose, the operation to fix everything that went wrong all season, more or less. But it's a little pet theory. But anything good in the chat room here?
I have no idea. I just hopped in. Yeah, we'll just keep going. Okay.
Fair enough.
Snow and Charming going to Maleficent to apologize. Figure we might as well talk about them at least a little bit this episode, right? So
I suppose
I'm not terribly surprised that she doesn't accept their apology because, well, she's Maleficent. But I do love that she tells him that she's not the one they need to apologize to. They need to be apologizing to her child. The only thing that's a little weird to me is that she's just like assuming her kid's coming back. Like she just assumes that Emma is going to bring back this person.
Well, I mean, she knows for sure that Lily's still out there.
No.
So. No, I thought she did.
No,
like
she didn't.
I thought that what Rumpel showed her was also a confirmation that she was still alive. I guess I could be wrong.
It was never stated because it was literally only showing her what happened 30 years ago. So I don't know how that works. That made no sense to me. But yeah, it's going to be interesting when she does get there, though, because she's wanted to kill them for about 15 years.
Oh, yeah. Like she
and I mean, their own daughter doesn't really want to talk to them right now.
Maybe Emma will help. No, probably not.
Ooh, no, because she was like, all out fighting to save her. Save the mommy, save the world.
No, I really liked it, though. Do you want to do some random reading from our notebooks real quick?
Oh, okay. Sure, we can do that.
We're actually running a little early tonight.
Which is surprising because, I even got feisty.
Lily's going to Pittsburgh. Mankato, which is the town that they went to in Little House and they lived in for a few years. I used to love Little House on the Prairie. So when they said Mankato, I was like,
Corilla's funeral. Oh, that was just sad.
Yeah, what was up with the guy kneeling next to it? Because the author and Rumpel were there, but then there was some guy, maybe he was burying her or something.
I don't know, I didn't notice.
Bobby says I'm right. Mal knew she was alive for sure.
How?
Because of the thing that Rumpel did.
No, but he even said it was from 30 years ago.
I like Maleficent as mayor. I could see her becoming mayor full time, and I'd be happy with that.
5-year-old address from right outside Boston.
Another common connection between this show and the other show we do a fan cast for, Gotham, play like squatter, like heroin user dens.
The heroin dens?
There was one of those on Gotham last week.
When did they get the scroll back from the Spice Girls?
I thought Belle's heart was actually going to be a trick and that Regina didn't have Belle's heart at all. She just said she did.
Belle the babysitter once again.
Wolf in the Road.
I could have cursed everyone to live here.
Let's see. Every decision I make seems right, but it's wrong.
I was just looking at that exact line.
Nice.
All your problems are my fault.
Oh, and Hope says, best line of the episode was when they walked into Lily's apartment in Boston and Regina goes, why did I go through the trouble of creating a curse when everyone could just live here or whatever?
Just said it.
Okay, so I guess we should go ahead and do our arbitrary scale here.
But where is Roland?
School. He's in school.
No one goes to school on this show.
They do, and if they live in New York City, that's for sure.
Okay.
Okay, so let's see here. Out of 1,270,523 kidnapped daughters, how many kidnapped daughters would you give this episode? And I put it in the chat room so you don't have
Pete.
to.
I mean, a million?
A million?
It's a really hard number. It's hard to even
hard to parse.
It's really hard to go around with that. Other Amy, really, Bill?
Yeah. Yes, really, other Amy.
Yes, really. It was good. I think this was. These last few episodes have been amazing.
Mm-hmm.
I'm getting really, really excited. I can't wait to see what happens.
Yeah.
I just, they just have me wanting more, which, well, let's just say last half season didn't.
Mm-hmm.
Last half season reminded me of Neverland, where I had to force myself to sit down and watch it. Yes, I know you all love Neverland. I'm the only one who didn't. Whatever.
You know, the thing that is you always say that you hated Neverland. I'm pretty sure I could pull up the notes for all of our episodes in Neverland.
I probably loved it.
Yeah, I know,
but I don't remember it positively. Okay.
That's fair. Okay, as for me, I think
Bobby really, really liked it.
I'm going to have to go with, out of 1,270,523 kidnapped daughters, I'm going to have to go with 1,170,522 kidnapped daughters, because I really like this episode too. Like in a lot of ways, it was probably my favorite episode of the season.
That's what,
it was just so strong and so compelling, and the characters did things that I wasn't expecting them to, like Rumple with the kind of signing off on the Will Bell relationship, and Emma, the scene with the gun. It was all really, really good. Okay, and let's see here from the chat room.
All right, let's see. So we've got Bobby with 1,262,347. Other Anne Marie with, I'm not even trying to read that number, 87%. Stephanie with 900,000. Amy P with 1,270,500. And Hope with a 71%.
Excellent.
Oh, and then Aaron with 900,000. And Nicole with 999,999. Lucy.
Excellent. I don't like those percents in there, though. You guys aren't following the format correctly. Jeez Louise, guys.
And Angel says 1,079,944. This is the most people who've ever participated
in the arbitrary scale.
I'm kind of excited.
Pretty cool.
You guys
Pretty
normally
cool.
ignore me.
All right, guys. Well, we're going to have some news and some letters and voicemails from you guys in just a second. But first, we wanted to mention a little project that I just released this week. We mentioned it a little earlier. If you go to bit.ly/King Sparrow, you can find my new novella, The Trials of King Sparrow. It's basically like a National Geographic nature documentary, in all its brutal glory, kind of mashed up with a fairy tale, mashed up with Rambo, all together in one kind of big story.
There is a little Rambo.
Yeah, just a little bit.
I didn't catch that part.
But Anne-Marie, you want to tell them a little bit about it since you've read it?
I've read it.
Yeah.
Okay, so I love this book. Like, it's. Who thinks that reading a book about a sparrow is going to be completely entertaining? But this cover really says it all.
Tom Gurka did the cover, by the way.
Yeah, he is amazing. But I'm so bad at describing it every time I feel put on the spot, even though I loved it. It's just, okay, so the King Sparrow is separated from his whole crew, including his queen, who he loves and adores. And then, over and over again, he's hit left and right with, I have to overcome this, broken wings, broken legs, nursed back to health by a kind, sweet old lady, before finally making it back to his family. And, well, let's just say they go through some changes and he gets his revenge.
Yes.
So
things change.
I won't give that away. I don't think that's in the...
Yeah, I'll just read you the
official thing since I'm butchering it.
No, it's fine. And thank you for giving that a testimonial. I figured since you liked this one.
I did like this one.
While leading his queen and faithful subjects to their winter home, King Sparrow is betrayed and abandoned in the woods. He battles foul beasts, psychotic eagles, and the oncoming winter on his quest to find his true love. With twist on every page, The Trials of King Sparrow celebrates his strength, compassion, and perseverance as he seeks his revenge. It's a magical adventure set against the brutal backdrop of the natural world. And if you want to check that out, it's only $1.99 over on Amazon. And you can pick it up at bit.ly/King Sparrow, and then just click on the cover and it'll take you right to Amazon.
Other Anne-Marie says, creepy cover, but so far so good. I just started reading it.
Excellent. Thank you, Other Anne-Marie. I'm glad you're reading it. Okay, so I guess that's about it for plugging my stuff. Now, on to the news. News. By the way, Patty voted 80%, but we don't.
I thought we did mention the 80%.
I don't like mentioning percentages.
Well, I do.
Feels lazy.
I'm okay with it. Oh, don't say that. She's an accountant.
I'm kidding. Okay, first up the ratings, as always. Now, Once Upon a Time matched last week's 1.7 adult 18 to 49 rating. So not falling, not rising, but staying pretty level. I expect next week and the two-part finale we're going to see. Whoop. Probably.
We really don't plan these things, guys. I don't know what's wrong
They just kind of spontaneously happen, right? Okay, now like we always do, we're going to go ahead and watch the promo for next week's Mother. Here, let's see. Get this all loaded up here, and here we go.
Mal.
Hello, Mal.
This is your daughter.
Lily looking all evil.
So how are we gonna get revenge on Snow White and Prince Charming?
Boom.
And it looks like she's asking Mal about
Yeah,
revenge.
she's asking Mal. And her eyes got all funky.
Yeah, I saw Zelina in the padded room that Belle was in.
Oh, I missed that.
Cora.
Cora!
Regina in a evil queen outfit, a dragon. Snow
Boom.
getting a concussion.
And then flambéed. Is that the right word?
Yes.
Flambéed.
That is exactly the right word. And chat, sorry, there's an insult to me in there. I'm going to have you guys get that scrolled off the screen before we're going to switch back to chat view. Someone called me a weenie.
King of the weenies.
King of the weenies, even. Which,
All hail,
no,
King of
not
the
gonna happen.
weenies.
Oh yeah, which is fine because we actually have this. You want to talk about this, Anne-Marie?
Okay.
Which, by the way, all the show notes, all those links to these stories in the show notes at greetingsfromstorybrooke.com.
Yes. Our good friend Wynn, who you may remember from past seasons of Once Upon a Time, has jumped ship, but I believe she's at a convention this weekend, and she came across these paper crafts that are actually free. So there is a Maleficent one, and it's really adorable. Scroll back up. It was cute.
Yeah.
So I just thought we would share that with you guys. So free paper crafts.
Yeah, and it's really easy to do too. Really, all you have to do, and me being king of the weenies is gone now, so I'll bring the chat back. But yeah, all you have to do is print these out on your color printer, then cut them out and fold them up, and then
It gives you the directions and everything.
yeah, you have a nice little friend on your desk. Oh, and this is another one that we're not going to really watch much or anything, but we just figured we'd point out. And it's just, I guess, they let some fans of Once Upon a Time onto the set in Stevenson while they were shooting the finale. So if you want to check out this...
I thought you weren't going to play it.
I'm just playing a little bit right here at the beginning because there's nothing too spoilery.
Okay.
But, okay, that's a little spoilery. It's fine, though. No, if you want to check it out, it's a 15-minute video. You get to see a lot of stuff, including some stuff that it might be a little too spoilery. For sure. But if you want to check that video out, the link will be in our show notes. And Hope just posted this real quick, and I'll put this in the show notes as well. A picture of Blue in the season finale. So.
One last sort of newsy type of thing. We've had a few people over the past couple weeks asking about our T-shirts. And where can we get one? We missed the first round. Well, if you go to teespring.com/Storybrooke, you can still reserve one, but there has to be 10 reserved before they can be ordered.
Yeah,
but there are 3 different colors in both men's and women's. You just have to put your email in to reserve it.
Yeah, you don't have to pay anything.
Not up front. And they will let you know when enough people have reserved them.
Yeah, and
so
we need 10 reservations.
Shirts.
And we only mention it just because we had a few people
over
contact
the past few
us.
Weeks, yeah,
people coming to RegalCon who were wanting shirts and everything. But by the way, we should probably mention RegalCon. May 8th through 10th, we're going to be doing live greetings from Storybrooke. See last week's episode or next week's episode for more information. Because we're not talking about it right now.
Because we got lots of stuff.
Yeah, we have some listener feedback.
Okay. I just noticed what time it was and how much feedback we have.
Excellent. It'll be a late one, folks.
It's a good one.
I know, but let's see here. Next week, when you're done watching the episode, what I need you to do is find your old childhood buddy, knock them down to their knees, put a gun in their face, say, hold on a second, I have to email my feedback in. Run back to your house, back to your computer. Email us, greetingsfromstorybrooke@gmail.com. Tweet us at GFStorybrooke. The Facebook is facebook.com/greetingsfromstorybrooke. And the voicemail number, which we almost always play, is 424-274-2352. Again, that's 424-274-2352. And this week, because Bobby either didn't send one in or it came in too late,
Bobby,
we're going to start out with Hoops. Take it away, Hoops.
Oops.
Hi, Bill and Anne-Marie. Anthony here.
Hi.
I am just so blown away by this episode. Just when you thought that Once Upon a Time could not get any better, they just take this and they just blow our minds. I'm so serious. Let me just start out with basically how the episode began, with coming up with Lily's backstory, which I thought was very excellent and quite thought out. And that process was just simply amazing, with the transition of them growing up, them leading opposite lives, and then when Emma and Regina are traveling together, you can really see the connection with them has really changed. So I really like the change and everything like that. And then back at home, of course, with Rumpelstiltskin, giving Belle's heart back, I really thought that was actually a little bit sweet because you can plainly see there's still some spark in between them. And I really do hope that their relationship rekindles, soon enough. But, of course, Rumpelstiltskin knows, what he's done, and I really hope that they can get past that. Also, with basically the whole end of the show, which blew me and my mom away, she actually called this when basically Robin Hood was telling Regina, like, oh, hey, I can't leave. There's just something that's going on. And then she turns out to be pregnant. By the way, Mom called it way beforehand, and I was just so excited to know that, like, wow, just when you thought they could not do something else, it was crazy. For my arbitrary scale, I would give this 20.5 out of, no, I'm sorry, wait. 30 little green babies out of 30 little green babies. That is my arbitrary scale. Please let me know what you guys think about the episode. And, of course, I can't wait to hear your thoughts. Thanks.
We think your scale is awesome.
Your scale is awesome. I love how excited you get and that you watch it with your mom.
I will also say really that happy. Inevitably, even if we had used that scale, there would have been somebody in the chat room still using percentages.
Even if there's 3 little babies.
Yes.
3
30.
little green
30, I thought it was.
I don't know.
Okay, we have a letter from Aaron here. Aaron says, wow, I'm now weary about the sorcerer. It was a surprise seeing that Lily knew the truth about everything when Emma found her, and I predicted that Zelena would get pregnant with Robin's baby. Unless she is lying, but I'm doubting it. And I'm not sure if there will be a miscarriage or what will happen in this story. And I know a lot of people were saying that I struck them very much like a soap opera kind of thing. Some people I even saw saying it struck them kind of like a telenovela, a Mexican soap opera.
Which are even more extreme.
Yeah, and if that's the case, then following the tropes of telenovelas, then yeah, there's going to be a miscarriage. Like Zelena's going to fall down a random set of stairs or something like that. Okay, next up from the voicemails is Michael Lucero. Take it away, Michael.
Hey, Bill and Anne-Marie, it's Michael.
Hi, Michael.
You all know that I've written in numerous times before to talk about the highly problematic ideas and philosophies in this show before. But one that I really liked this episode was a quote that Regina said, basically that our choices are our own, but fate pushes us. And I really like that. I think that it's something that Turin Turambar might agree with from Tolkien's book, The Children of Hurin. It's a very similar story between her and between Lily and Turin. The idea of this character that seems to be cursed and just it deals with issues of are they ruining their own lives, or is there somehow something dark that's laying upon their lives that's influencing things. So if people haven't read that, I think they really should. I really liked the Sorcerer's Apprentice taking action to help clean up the mess the author forced him into being a part of making. But how did he get out of Storybrooke well before the curse was broken, let alone have memories of his true identity? So does the sorcerer have the ability to protect the apprentice from the effects of the curse? Very interesting questions. I like the Lily storyline, and I like Mal switching allegiances. I just hate that to get good stories like this, we have to keep bringing up the horribly nonsensical story of somebody's potential for evil being poured into somebody else, which ignores the realities of free will and human nature. Again, for the thousandth time, the writers seem to be ignoring their own story, since Emma seems to be turning evil. So which way is it? Does she have capacity for evil or not? If not, how did she have the darkness to almost kill Lily? And if so, then how was anything bad ever done to Lily in the first place other than separating her from her mother? They seem to be hinting that something really dark and evil was really done to her in placing Emma's capacity of evil. But if that's the case, then how does Emma still have capacity of evil? It just doesn't make sense. They can't have it both ways. I think Rumpel was probably the most selfless here that he's ever been, at least towards Belle. And she kind of looked conflicted near the end. Do you think there's a chance that they might get back together after all? And speaking of which, her relationship with Will, I feel like they still have yet to develop that at all. And personally, I think it's a classic example of a writer telling instead of showing. So I haven't been able to detect any evidence of chemistry between the two, other than the fact that we're told that it exists. So overall, a really interesting episode. I think it had lots of flaws, but really lots of promising hints of what might come in the future. So I hope that Lily and Emma can work together. It seems like they kind of have reached that level of ability to do so since they were going to New York together. I think that would be much more interesting than a fight to the death or to get revenge between the two. And last but not least, where the heck is the apprentice? I don't even care about where the sorcerer
Yeah, he's in the hat,
He's
I
still
believe.
in the hat.
/ Zordon is. I just want to see him back in the present time again. All right, and I will give this episode 5.3 out of 10 recurring wolf motifs. All right, talk to y'all later. Bye.
Yeah, thank you, Michael. And yeah, we did kind of notice that that inconsistency there too, and I think the writers are kind of just glossing over it as well.
A little bit.
Just to tell the story. You want to read this one from Ash?
Did you really change your name to Bill Weenie?
She did.
Oh my goodness. Okay.
Which means Chad is going away until the Bill Weenies are out of there. So just so you guys know.
Okay. Hey, Aaron and Bill. Wow, sparks flying everywhere. That was intense. Emma and Lily clearly have to be in harmony and work together for things to come out right and to keep the balance of things. The backstory, act my heart, and chase scene, yes. Hashtag magical accountability partners. And speaking of babies and twists and turns of fate, I didn't want it to happen. I hope Zelina's lying, but oh my gosh! No, just so wrong. Hashtag soap opera factory. And loved all the team ups and road trips through hashtag awesome. Interesting. There was a wolf semi-gram callback, but it was a different wolf than the ones we've seen in the darker colored too. Interesting. That seems significant. On that note, I'm giving this one 7.5 crescent moon necklaces. Hugs and cheers, Ash.
That's a lot of crescent moon necklaces.
Yes, but I like that she used a not a fraction, because that's what we're doing from now on.
Yeah, I guess fractions. Yep. Okay, next up is a voicemail from Patty. Take it away, Patty.
Hey, Bill and Anne-Marie. I just saw the episode, and I have to say, one, what in the living heck are they actually doing? And what I mean, what they're doing is, why are the heroes keeping Belle's heart at bay? Why did they agree to take Belle's heart in the first place? Mind you, I'll give them that one. Regina could be lying her butt off and is not telling her leverage includes Belle's heart.
I will say that I think Belle agreed to it, and then after
when
they did
told her to forget everything, she literally forgot everything.
Yeah, because I assumed she thought that kissing Rumple and everything might have been too painful for Belle. So,
and for that matter, why does she think this is a good idea? Here's my new proposal. How about making it illegal to take people's hearts in Storybrooke? No enchanted heart taking. I mean, is that so difficult? Do we really have to make that into law? And why do we have to explain that? Why can that be common sense? No taking hearts. Or in your podcast, which I'm sure you don't take hearts because you don't have magic, as far as I know. And I guess to talk to the other point is to the elephant in the room about the Rumble scene. I'm actually okay because this just proves that Rumple is actually the Beast from Beauty and the Beast, believe it or not. So I'm actually more excited and happy about it in a weird way. The Beast has always had a history of letting go of Beauty. I think one of the best moments in Beauty and the Beast is the fact that even though she broke a promise to him of coming back in a week or something, he didn't go after her. He didn't try to kill her. Instead, he just starved himself to death. He just laid out and couldn't. He lost his will to live, in fact, and he was laying down dying. It's not until she visited the prince, aka the Beast, visited her in a dream where she realized what happened. And when she goes back is when she realized she actually does love the Beast and breaks the spell. Mm-hmm. So in a lot of ways, that scene just kind of makes it pretty apparent that the Beast is Rumple is the Beast. That is something I actually knew about Rumple before the season actually started, where he's the kind of guy who will let go of the people he loves and watch them, but he will actually allow them to be happy.
Mm-hmm.
And besides that, interesting note, I want to know, did you see her look at her face and how much it actually changed when the heart was placed back in? Because I was actually noticing her expressions afterwards, where she let go of Will's hand. She actually devastated about all this.
Hey, Bill and Amory, it's Bobby. With the end of the season right around
Okay.
Yeah, we're going right into
Apparently we're
Bobby.
going right into
corner,
Bobby.
it seems like they're just going to have the few episodes right into the finale, which is great. Just means no filler episodes, and last night's was no exception. They wasted no time pretty much just setting up our characters, stories going into the finale, putting all the ducks in a row. So let's go through each of those ducks. As far as Emma and her parents are concerned, I understand Emma being upset, but I really do feel like they've drawn that out just a bit too far. I mean, Emma is a parent as well, so you would think that she would at least understand a bit where they were coming from. I mean, it wasn't like there was any malevolence involved. They just were doing what they felt,
But there was a Maleficent.
they had to protect their child. As far as the Bell, Rumple, and Will
You could tell he was rushing.
storyline, triangle, whatever you want to say, I was surprised to see that Belle didn't have her heart. I really had thought Regina had probably given it back to her and just was tricking Rumple, although Belle did a good job of playing it off. It was a good metaphor with Rumple, like saying, "Here, I'm giving your heart back, but he'll be the one to protect it." Although I was surprised that Belle didn't get upset at Will for working with Rumple, regardless of why.
See, I think that I don't know. I think Belle walked away from that situation liking Rumple more than she has since she banished him from town.
Yeah.
For sure. So
That's more than she's liked him for a long time, I think.
So I personally don't. I don't think Belle would have been upset with Will. Maybe a little disenchanted with Will because of the big romantic gesture that Rumple makes with the
Heart.
chest grab and all that.
Although we did see that little look that she gave Rumple as he was leaving. The whole Emma Lily thing, them being totally connected, yin and yang, as if you will.
Savior,
Found that
anti-savior.
interesting. And it was cool that the sorcerer came to Lily and was trying to set things straight a bit. And then, of course, Regina and Robin. Wow. Wow. I can't believe we just all did not see that coming. Of course, after the last second of the show, we were all like, of course she's pregnant. So as far as, once again, setting everything up, ducks in a row and whatnot, I thought this episode did a pretty decent job. So as far as the scale goes, I will give it 10 of 14 broken foster homes.
Thank you very much, Bobby. And I just want to point out, too, because I just recalled this as Bobby was speaking. I know 6 months ago, you guys were like, Bill, you need to start using big, ridiculous numbers again. I throw out a 1 million, and everyone's like, hey, make the numbers smaller. I can't win.
Okay, well, you're making them excessive. We were just more meaning, 30. We were talking because you were starting to give us 4, and who can do anything with 4?
Next letter's from Stephanie. Stephanie says, hi, Bill and Anne-Marie. I like that we got to see more of Lily last night. However, I thought that last night's episode was somewhat slow compared to the last two, but I liked the twist at the end. I wish Emma had gone to Maleficent to help her instead of the other way around. I liked Will and Rumple working together. If the Sorcerer's Apprentice had come to move between two worlds and to send someone back to if the Sorcerer's Apprentice has the power to move between worlds and to send someone to a land without magic, why didn't Rumple go to him for help in getting Bay back? And I'd assume that's because first he went to him to steal something from him. So, yeah, they weren't on great terms there. I think they're trying to focus on too much at the end of the season. I feel like they should have had more in the first few episodes. And, yeah, that's something that I think we've been saying this whole half season. It feels a little compressed because I think this story was supposed to be the whole season. Okay, next up in the voicemail column, we have Other Anne-Marie. Take it away.
Hi, Bill and Anne-Marie. It's Other Anne-Marie speaking.
Hello.
I just finished Once Upon a Time, and I wanted to share my thoughts. First off, I want to say that this second half of season 4 is much better. It's the ones we know with all its own stories, and just seeing Lily back and the connections that we've seen in other seasons. I'm really enjoying it. As for this episode, I have to say that Regina is really surprising me. I miss Evil Queen, I do have to say that. But this Regina is just very pleasant, very this world-like instead of fairy tale world. And I don't know, it's very nice to see her like that. Especially when Mel walked into Granny's diner and Regina looked at her with this face of, I have my friend back. And I don't know if you remember from first season, but Mel was her only friend. And it was just very nice to see that with her.
Yeah, them and that little, what was it, a little unicorn? They had all sorts of adventures.
Yeah.
Little horse or unicorn had all sorts of adventures together.
There's a few things that I was annoyed with is that Will's story is just not progressing this season. He's been in the back like Belle has been. He's a season regular, but we're not getting anything. And maybe it's because this season has been stuffed with way too many things that they just can't deal with his story right now. But I don't know. I'm very annoyed with that. I'm also very tired with the Charmings and their groveling. Just be done with it. I know that they have they need their shots in, but really, I could have been fine without that. Nice twist in the end. Sad to see Zelina pregnant with Robin, because that's going to mess up happy ending for our dear Regina. But we'll have to see where that goes. Anyway, out of 10 scrappy wills, I'm going to give it 8. It was a solid episode. Can't wait what's happening next week. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you, other Anne-Marie. And Anne-Marie, you want to read this letter from Charity?
All right, from Charity. The following is a collection of random bits of thoughts after seeing the episode. Such role reversal between Emma and Regina was great to see, but don't you think Regina should have gotten to New York a bit quicker than she did? Yes. This is the Wicked Witch we are talking about. The search for Lily could have waited until after the New York City dramatic bombshell. But Boston's, is it on the, I don't really know the...
Yeah, I'm not sure.
I'm not sure. Okay. While I don't trust the Wicked Witch to be truthful, the plot is becoming a bit of a soap opera. Does Emma's darkness seem to come back to be coming on a bit quick? She seems like she is just running around on autopilot, reacting. She needs a timeout on Archie's couch. I would have preferred a bit more in flashbacks about Lily's growing up years instead of just being told it so. I'm just having a bit of a problem with the whole playing deck life stacked against you. Or maybe it's the idea that the author and the apprentice are pulling the strings instead of decision making done by the characters. The episode was a necessary chapter of the road to the finale, which I'm looking forward to.
Yeah, and Jasmine says, I give last night's show 2 out of 2 baby carrots. I uncontrollably threw at my monitor, or for the ones I uncontrollably threw at my monitor when Robin told Regina that he couldn't go back to Storybrooke with her because Zelina was pregnant. I demand a DNA test. I bet Gold is the baby daddy.
Ooh,
could
baby
be.
daddy.
Definitely. And our last voicemail, and sorry we had to cut a couple this week, but we had almost half an hour worth of voicemails.
And that's a lot of voicemails.
Yeah.
We actually kept more feedback than we normally do because they...
Yeah, and plus we're towards the end of the season, so we wanted to fit in as much as possible. But next up is, or to round us off on voicemails, is Tim Peters. Take it away, Tim.
Bill, Anne-Marie.
Yo.
Hi, this
Yo.
is Tim
Sup?
Peters, and I'm calling about the Once Upon a Time episode, Lily. Now,
Lily.
I do really like this episode. However, it leaves me with a few important questions. Firstly, young Emma. When did she, in fact, live with Ingrid the Snow Queen? Because...
it would have been right before this, right?
I think so.
I think so.
In my mind, maybe the version that makes the most sense is she meets Lily for the first time. She goes to live with the Snow Queen. She goes to live in Minnesota and meets Lily again. However, you guys might have a different interpretation. Second thing, and this is the most important thing from this episode, in my opinion. Okay, so last episode...
Sorry, Tim. Point of order in the chat room. Patty's asking if we've seen Archie this season. Yeah, we got one scene with him when Snow was having issues with the baby carriage.
Okay, so hold on, wait. They're also pointing out that Storybrooke is in Maine. Yes, thank you, Bobby. I know. So they would have to have passed through New York to get to Lowell.
Oh, okay. Excellent. Sorry, Tim.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
Continue.
We got the impression that Regina took Belle's heart with Belle's consent in order to fool Rumpelstiltskin with it and make sure that she was able to get to New York. If this is true, then Belle's reaction when she gets her heart back makes no sense. Now, I read a theory that says that Regina wiped her memory of this, which sort of makes sense, but I'm still uncomfortable with it because that means it's sort of still taking someone's heart without their consent. And I'm sure you guys have an opinion on that. Anyways, I really like this episode. I thought it had a lot of good plot, some fairly good action. The twist at the end with Selena. Oh, that was the other thing I wanted to talk about. So a lot of people expected that, and because a lot of people expected that, I therefore did not expect that Selena would be pregnant with Robin's kid. So I'm looking forward to seeing how that works out, and whether that baby will therefore be born with evil intent within their heart. I give this episode 3.5 fake Lily's daughters out of 5. Yes, I know. The half daughter is creepy, but she did not have a daughter to begin with, so that makes it okay, I guess. Bye!
Nice.
I like the half daughter.
Yeah, did you want me to bring up this map?
Well, I
here?
was just showing you because no, Bobby, Mr. telling me you have to go to New York to get to Massachusetts. No, you don't have to go from Lowell. There's a good couple hours there between Lowell, Massachusetts, and New York City, so they had to go to Massachusetts first. Just saying.
Fair enough.
The end.
The end. Okay, we have a couple of letters here, I think, to wrap us up with. Okay. Oh, actually, just one more. You want to read this one from Anne?
Yes. Okay. Hi, Bill and Anne Marie. I liked the episode. Lots of suspenseful moments and insightful backstory. But my only prevailing reaction would be this: Zelina's pregnant with Robin's child. Nope. Ew. And did I mention nope? That pretty much sums up my state of mind right now. I hope I'll have something more to say next week. Until then, looking forward to your thoughts on the episode. All the best, Anne.
Excellent. And as we mentioned up at the top of the feedback section, next week when you get done watching Mother, what I need you to do is I need you to go find your childhood friend, then go find your mother, line them both up in the road, point a gun at them, say, I'll be right back. I have to send in my feedback for Greetings from Storybrooke. Run to your computer, email us, greetingsfromstorybrooke@gmail.com, tweet us at GSStorybrooke. The Facebook is facebook.com/greetingsfromstorybrooke, and the voicemail number, which we almost always play, is 424-274-2352. Again, that's 424-274-2352. Now, Anne-Marie, any outstanding business?
I proved Bobby wrong, and he apologized. He thanked it. I like it.
You're darn skippy. No, where can people find you online, Anne-Marie?
You can find me on Twitter at DeSimone or on Instagram at CCHCblog.
And as for me, you can follow me on Twitter at Bill Meeks. You can follow all the podcasts we do, including Legends of Gotham, the Gotham Fan Podcast, and the Universe Box, the show about everything, story set to a theme.
It's like the opposite of Seinfeld, show about...
But at universebox.com. And you can follow the books I write, not King Sparrow, but the other one, Dogboy Adventures, at dogboyadventures.com. You can get Trials of King Sparrow at bit.ly/King Sparrow. I highly recommend it.
I do too.
And we want to thank you guys again so much for hanging out in the chat room and everything. Always a pleasure.
Thank you guys. It would take me like 2 hours to go back and read everything you guys have written. You guys are very chatty tonight. I love it.
Yeah, they are. And 14 I think is a record in there. So
it's a record, and they're all chatty.
Excellent.
They're all very chatty.
And Amy P called me dramatic.
Well, he is dramatic.
A little bit.
Just a tad.
Just a little bit. Join us next, or no?
What? No? Yeah. Oh, no.
What is it? Until next time. Greetings from Storybrooke.
What is wrong with us?
I don't know. We're going to get it one of these days.
No, we're not.
No, we just need to get a consistent title going for both shows, or ending for both shows.
That'll never happen. Doing my workout.
We did it.
Working out.
We made it through the show. And it was only 15 minutes over an hour.
I'm working out.
What?
I don't know what I'm doing here.
I thought we were done working out. I've been working out this whole show. I've been tensing my calves and then untensing them. And then tensing them and then untensing them. Over and over and over again. Hope says thank you for your hard work. I thank you guys.
Thank you guys. Thank you everybody.
Out too. Like we're very well chuffed at the activity in the chat room tonight.
We love when there's a lot of activity. We always feel bad when there's like one or two people in there, and we're like, Sorry, we're trying.
What are you gonna do?
What are we gonna do about it?
But if you guys aren't spoiler averse, I definitely recommend going and checking out that video
have
of
to
the
watch
behind the
that.
scenes stuff. I skipped around in a little bit. I saw some interesting things.
Good things. Good things.
Hold on, I'm gonna put thank you in the chat real big, and let's go ahead
Yeah, I
and
did
show all
that.
that praise for us in the chat too
Yes.
on the screen.
Look
before.
at all the praise. We are wonderful.
You praise us. No, thank you. We love you guys. You know that. I hope we see some of you tomorrow for Gotham and
Yes,
Thursday
please.
for the Ghost episode of
Ghost-
Universe Box. And then next week.
Yeah, if you have any ghost stories, please send those to universeboxshow@gmail.com.
for sure.
We're a little light. I've got a good one, and it has a prop, but
We also have, we have a good from Michael.
no, mine.
Oh, there's a good one from Michael too.
Oh, is there?
So yeah,
That's right.
I haven't listened to it, but
Yay!
okay, but
Again with the music.
it happens. But thank you guys. Have a good night. Thank
Bye,
you so
guys.
much. Bye. If I can get the stream shut down, I
Ow,
can't.
what is this?
I can't. We're gonna have to stream all night. I can't
Oh,
turn
no.
this.